First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building businesses that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante Davis.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Overseer.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
We are back-ish, kinda, sorta, somewhat, a little unorthodox,
unexpectedly. We can say that.
Sometimes it's just too crazy to even enjoy your vacation, but that's the life of sports journalism, mate. Because guess what? Too much happened for us to just be like, yeah, we could just let that go while we on vacation. So we called an emergency pod. This either is episode 203, emergency 911, whatever you want to call it. But we here. Your two favorite guys, minus our guy Cannon, because he's out enjoying the tropics.
Yeah.
I'm AJ. In the pinch, we got a little bit of red blend. It ain't a red cup, but it's a red blend. And I got my co-host with me.
You already know who it is, your boy Hill. And Hill gonna hear regardless, baby. Let's get it. Like you said.
Hold on. Tell them where they can find us.
You can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com.
And make sure you hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of that video. And if you are not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you are notified anytime we drop a recording. Because like now, you never know when we might drop an emergency pod on you, and you can, you get that little notification. You might be scrolling on your Twitter, watching on Pornhub, whatever you might be doing, and you can just hit that. If you watch a Pornhub, don't click over just yet. Put everything away first. We don't watch us like that. Sorry.
Put some draws.
Put some draws on. Don't be watching this with the Thule out. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
I redirected us.
Absolutely, and I'm about to bring it back.
Bring it around town.
What type time?
Bring it around.
This is what is it? Was June? It's June 22nd. The draft will be coming on soon as we record this, but we definitely didn't want to redirect the fools from watching us and the draft. So we just wanted to just delay it. But we do have our phones right beside us just in case some more trades pop off. And we got the notifications ready for that just in case we get some live trades. Before we get really started, though, shouts out to Cannon. Cannon is definitely on his honeymoon. Cannon is a married man now. So, congratulations to Cannon and his wife, Ashley, the Cannons.
The Cannons.
So, he was on vacation, technically for real.
So we was like, all right, cool. We gonna take a
break too. But once again, too many things happen for us to just let this linger for 2 weeks. We're supposed to be off for 2 weeks. Nah.
Man, so
yeah.
At least maybe we'll get, a 1 week kind of vacation, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't, because I think maybe it should slow down after the draft. Because tonight I think it's gonna turn it might really, really turn up tonight.
Pick 3 may determine if we record next week or not.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. But that's why I say, I think it might turn up tonight. And I'm not saying they gonna stop making moves, but I don't think it's gonna be like this week where it's like, oh, we got to record.
I mean, like pick 3 definitely is one of them picks that's definitely going to determine you know, if we got to record next week. Because if Dame get traded, he going somewhere legitimate. You know what I'm saying? They ain't about to sit in the OKC. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to OKC, but they go definitely sit in somewhere legitimate, or somebody's coming to him. We'll see. But like I say, pick 3 it definitely will determine if we gonna record next week or earlier than that. We'll see. But your team made a trade.
Yeah.
And it was it unexpected? To you.
To me, no. So there's a Suns insider, John Gambadoro. He's really tapped in to the Suns organization, and he was saying, hey, Matt Ishbia, he's not playing around. He wants the big fish. He wants to go for Bradley Beal. And that's one of the reasons why we did not, initially that report came through, hey, the Suns are waiving Chris Paul, and then it went on hold.
Mm-hmm.
So once it went on hold, I'm like, oh, Chris Paul is a trade trip.
Can I stop you?
Go ahead.
What did I say when we talked about Chris Paul? I said, find you a sucker, right?
Yeah.
And did I not say it was just y'all ain't gonna find nobody? I'm like, it's a sucker born every day.
So it's a sucker born every day, but Danny Ainge is usually the only one that could find them. So I was like, all right,
Yeah. So okay, it was small percentage, but it's a sucker born every day, and they didn't move. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But yeah, go. I didn't mean to stop.
And so it was like my antennas was up, but I'm still like, Bradley Beal, he more expensive than Devin Booker. So I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work. But when Gambo said something, I listened. So I'm like, we'll see what's going on. We'll see what's gonna happen. And lo and behold, it came through. So it wasn't totally unexpected, but you ever have something where it's just like, you kind of know it has the possibility of happening, but when it still happens, you kind of shocked, like, oh.
I had that feeling when Brian came to the Lakers.
Yeah, so it's just like, this ain't far-fetched. But just to see it come across, because I was the one who sent the notification to our private group chat, and I was like, oh shit, it actually happened. So I was like, okay, I see what Matt is doing, and I'm gonna let you go first, but I'm not mad at it. And then I'll let you go because I know you have rebuttals, and we're gonna get into some stuff. So
yeah, we're gonna
let you go. I'm gonna let you get yours off. What did you think? Were you surprised?
My initial, because I was enjoying Father's Day, actually, so we was cooking. My father was in town. We was building, doing, father stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I didn't have my phone, so I got the notification. He got the notification in the middle. We was building a gazebo. My wife bought me a gazebo for the grill. So we was in the middle of the. So he just told me this in passing. He said, "Oh yeah, Son's got Bradley Beal. Yeah, pass me that." I'm like,
whoa! You can't just sneak that in the conversation.
Like, we got to go put this. We might have to just stop. And then, like you said, he really just said it like it was nothing. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, the Suns. I'm like, he really chose the Suns. We know he has a no trade clause, and I'm like, he really chose the Suns. I'm like, and then we think about the compensation. The compensation didn't mean anything to me because once again, he held all the power. He had all the power. We know y'all didn't have much compensation, but we'll get into that later.
We'll get into that.
But it was just initially shocking. But when it came to, which is a benefit of recording us now, when we get more and more information, we got the notification before the trade went off that the Sixers and the Celtics wasn't involved. So that knocked out 2 teams, right? The Heat were involved. And it was the fact that he did not veto a trade to the Heat. It was the fact that some of the things that they asked from the Heat declined.
Right.
So my thing about it, and I thought about it, I said, okay, I sat back and I had to think, objectively. I'm like, okay, they still in the Eastern Conference.
Exactly. So they're not gonna like
just give you away.
They're not gonna give the Heat Bradley Beal for nothing.
Yeah, they got to ask for some things, and they might have asked for some things that, they might have asked for too much things. So, like I said, the report really wasn't in full detail. So I understood. I'm like, okay, now I get it. Now when I look at it from y'all's perspective, you gave up Chris Paul. Okay, you give up Chris Paul. But that was the first thing we kept saying. Get rid of Chris Paul. Chris Paul has to go. So you giving up Chris Paul and Landry Shamet for Bradley Beal? Who the hell is gonna say no? Like who's gonna say no? Like I'm not, and I'm thinking about the money. Okay, the money, but the new CBA doesn't kick in until next year. You figure that out. I mean, obviously he has more money. He's not really worried about the thresholds or the hard tax, any of that. And I was thinking about, everybody, depth. What are they gonna do about depth? I'm like, we've seen veterans flock to championship contender teams outside of the Lakers. If you're not the Lakers and you're one of those big teams that, big three or, whatever team, we've seen veterans go take vet minimum and load up and try to gear up to win the championship. So I just sat back and I just said, damn. That was just a reaction was damn. Basketball wise, we can get into that if we want to later. I have questions, but those questions are minimal because we don't know the full roster yet.
Exactly. And so one of my cousin, she reached out to me and was like, this ain't gonna work, cuz it ain't enough basketballs to go around. And I'm like, because she played college basketball. She played with like my actual blood cousin, and that's where they met and ended up, college sweethearts, got married and all that. But she said, this ain't gonna work. It ain't enough basketballs to go around. And I'm like, don't speak too soon. Because yes, it may not look like we can fill out our roster now, but there's still a tradable asset where we can move, free up money, get depth pieces and stuff. Because people, everything that I've seen has been, KD, Booker, Beal, and Ayton, they're gonna, build out their roster with, a bunch of, nobodies. But if they've been trying to, move on from DeAndre Ayton last year, it's not a done deal that he's going to be on the roster this year. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know. Go ahead. I'm not.
It's still early, so I'm not going to cuss and, mess up our analytics. But it's a possibility that they could still move DeAndre Ayton and fill out some depth pieces, get quality NBA level talent, even if it's one or, even if it's like 2, maybe 3 players, and you just trade them to get the salaries to match. But, they're NBA caliber players, not necessarily starters either, but just to build out the depth.
That's what you want to do?
Let me finish.
I asked you a question. That was your question.
I would trade DeAndre Ayton. If we could trade DeAndre Ayton for two players who can actually contribute, then yeah, I would do that to free up some money. So it's not 4 max players on our roster.
Okay.
To start breaking down the salary. And yes, I'll move DeAndre Ayton to I said that before we got Bradley Beal, if you don't remember. Before coming into the offseason, I was saying
you've been saying that since last year. That's
exactly. So I said move instead of having move DeAndre Ayton, instead of having DeAndre Ayton, I would much rather get 2 players or 3 players and have NBA caliber players and move DeAndre Ayton. So yes, that's what I would do, and I think that's what needs to be done. And as you said, there's veterans who have been willing to take the minimum. We've seen some quality players opt out. Who knows what they're going to do? Montrezl Harrell. Ever since he left the Lakers, they said that was a bad idea for him to opt out with the Lakers. He just opted out again. He could be somebody who is like, you know what? Let me try and make another run. Let me come for cheap. Depends on what's going on. So I believe if they make that move, there's plenty of opportunity for the Suns to build out their roster. And I believe with what we had to give up to get Bradley Beal, same thing I kind of said when it was with Kevin Durant. You when that opportunity presents yourself, especially with the window you're in, you kind of want to make that like if you're in this aggressive nature, you're going to pull the trigger on that. So go ahead and rebuttal.
Me and you have had these conversations, and plenty of times I've always, it's philosophical differences, and this is what it is. I've always said, oh man, this ain't gonna fit football wise, or this ain't gonna fit basketball wise. You need other places, you need other pieces. You, on the contrary, all the time always wants to acquire talent, and you say you get the talent and you figure it out. Most of the time, your brain starts clicking like Madden 2K. You just go get all the weapons, and then you figure it out. Am I right or wrong? Is that not your philosophical way of thinking?
Get the weapons and you figure it out. Yes.
So why now all of a sudden, because it's Ayton, now all of a sudden you want to move him for lesser talent?
So no, it's not just moving him for lesser talent. It's acquiring talent and figuring it out. And in basketball, Ayton is a part of figuring it out. And to me, we've seen if he's going to continue to be passive, continue to not be aggressive on the boards, continue to do those things that he's been doing. And y'all talked about when we had, Chris Paul and then KD and Booker. Oh, he's like, you got to get him his touches. You got to get him his touches. And I said, if he's not going to be aggressive, he's not going to get his touches because he touches the ball. He just isn't aggressive and to, assert himself. So guess what? Yes, we acquire talent. And also what comes with acquiring talent is acquiring people that are better than you. Yes, DeAndre Ayton has plenty of upside. So guess what? We're going to figure it out by moving you and get those pieces that fit together. We acquired our talent. We acquired Kevin Durant. We acquired Bradley Beal. We have Devin Booker. We moved on from Chris Paul for, I think we won that trade. Not necessarily saying we won that trade, but I think we won that trade by what we had to give up to get Bradley Beal. Even if you feel like, oh, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, that is not going to fit along with Kevin Durant. Oh, because I've heard people saying, oh, y'all got to defend somebody. You acquire the talent and figure it out. But guess what? It ain't like DeAndre is some just like super defensive stopper. So guess what? We can move him, get more depth, because that's what I've said we needed. That's what you've said we needed. That's what Cannon said we've needed. That's what, national pundits said we needed. That's why we lost to the Nuggets. We didn't have enough depth. So what we can do is, since you've acquired all that talent, just because I've always said, oh, acquire the talent and figure it out later, doesn't mean you can't move on from the talent.
Because I also just said, once you become one of those contending pieces, the veteran talent can come to you. Some of these dudes that come take lesser money to come to you. So now, at the simple fact that you can bring back Biyombo, you can bring back Landale, you can bring back Torrey Craig. What was Uchiwali? Is he under contract?
Kogi? Nah, he got to get brought back.
See what I'm saying?
They're gonna bring him back though.
You can bring him back. Campaign is under contract, bro. These dudes you can go get other. I'm telling, it's going to be people dying to try to get the Phoenix all of a sudden now.
Exactly.
It's going to be one of the first times that you be like, oh my God, we're a free agent destination. So why would I go trade away Ayton when I could just go get these same dudes?
But that's the thing.
Anyway.
But that's the thing, Hill. So it's not about necessarily why would I trade away Ayton. Yes, there are some people that are dying to come there, but there are still restrictions that are limiting us from filling out this roster. And if we move Ayton, that changes the dynamic of what we're able to do with the roster. And we're still like some of the dudes that if they were like I'm not saying bring in bums for Ayton. Some of these veterans that would be willing to come here and sign, I'm saying we could find people like in a trade for Ayton on that level and higher to bring them in with multiple pieces. Because once again, it's obvious that Ayton has run its course. Sometimes, like I've said this before, sometimes, hey, you just need to change your scenery. And that's why I said, hey, like I think it was Cannon, either Cannon or you that said it was like, oh, you're gonna be mad when Ayton goes somewhere and ball out. No, I'm not. I think it's time for a change, and I'll be fine with that. And I think we can get rid of him and bring in depth pieces and fill out this roster. And yes, you talk about campaign. like he can get moved too with Aiden, and that adds more chips and just more bodies that we can bring in to fill out this roster. And yes, I like Campaign. I would like to see Campaign back for the cheap, but I'm not tied to him. If we can get somebody better, there's better pieces. Like there's better pieces that we could acquire in a trade. If we can get Aiden and Campaign traded, I think there's a better, like an upgrade. Like even if we take a downgrade from DeAndre Aiden, that means it's an upgrade for Campaign, and it balances out. That's what I'm saying.
You got any examples? I know you've been enamored with Miles Turner. Other than that, you got any examples that you think that you'd heard or moving Aiden? Anything?
So
because I'm not seeing it.
And that's fine. So I'm still working through it in my head, and I've intentionally not listened to anybody because I would, it's the same thing that I did when we did our Boston stuff. I didn't want I didn't want to listen because I wanted to start coming up with organic stuff, so I didn't feel like I was biting off of anybody. So there are going to be some suitors out here, and I think Deuce told us, "Hey, go try and get Kristaps Porzingis." It might have been you, but I think Deuce, like me and Deuce was talking. He was like, "Go get Kristaps."
I definitely didn't suggest that.
Yeah, he was like, "Go get Kristaps Porzingis or somebody like that." But that was before we went and got Beal.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I would, if we brought Bismack Biyombo back, Jock Landale back,
mm-hmm. Your front court is solidified.
I'm cool with that. And then I would because I know I've mentioned before Terry Rozier. Somebody like that who is going to be able to control the ball, stuff like that. And yes, I think what we did last year is had KD play the 4 a lot anyway. So I'm not necessarily looking for a stretch 4. Yes, if we get one that's in a reserve role, then I'm cool. But if we can get someone who can actually control the ball, play make, and Book can still do it, KD can still do it, but I don't want that to be their main focus. And someone who can still contribute and make threes. Terry Rozier could do that. I'm fine with that. Gary Harris, he can do that. I'm fine with that.
Gary Harris still with the
Magic.
I'm still with the Magic. But that's my thing. That we could be here all day.
Let's move on.
But my thing, trading Ayton to get them does nothing. Like,
to me, I won't say it does nothing. I think it frees up guys. And I'm not saying just trade Aiden for this one person. I'm not trading Aiden for Terry Rozier straight up. I'm going to get Aiden, Terry Rozier, and I'm going to look at some people that are, 6, 7, 8, 9 on your bench. You get what I'm saying? To try and open that up. Because if we still bring back a Kogi and grab somebody else off of a bench, that's building up our NBA depth. And I know it doesn't sound sexy. I'm not looking for sexy. I got sexy with KD, Bradley Beal, and Booker. I'm looking for building up an NBA roster. And people talk about, oh, yes, making this Bradley Beal trade doesn't elevate us over the Nuggets because we don't have the depth. And that's fine. I'm not looking for this trade to elevate us over the Nuggets. I'm looking for a trade to allow us to compete with the Nuggets. And how we couldn't compete with the Nuggets was depth.
Trust me, y'all didn't have a bench, and y'all bench was super ass. But that depth issue is now getting overblown because, the rotations get shortened.
Right.
In the playoffs.
Can I say something? That's my point. That's why, yes, the rotations get short. And that's why I'm not saying trade DeAndre Ayton for 5 players. I'm saying get him for, somewhat like a NBA starter and a quality NBA reserve. And then if we bring back a Kogi, get that starter, that reserve in there, we have, we can start, depending on the matchup, Landale, Biyombo, or if we even replace him with the 5 and stuff like that, and we only bring one of them back, we can do that. And then our issue against the Nuggets was KD and Book had to go crazy, and we had to rely. If we didn't get that third option against the Nuggets, we were asked out. We needed and I think it was game 2, that Landry Shamet 19, that was God sent. You get what I'm saying? And that's what propelled us to that win. Now we're not relying on Landry Shamet to give us 19. We got Bradley Beal as a third option. Like it was Booker, KD, and Landry Shamet. And I know you're talking about moving Ayton. It was like now we got, instead of Booker, KD, Landry Shamet, and then Ayton, we got Booker, KD, Bradley Beal. Those are the three. Like those are the top three scorers we need. Now we just need people to get in the way.
But when
it provide us that spacing.
But when it came for, like, I did the same thing when you said we wasn't trying to listen to anybody and get any ideas. Like I heard all the same things of now it's time to move Ayton to get depth pieces. And I'm sitting there like, but I've seen teams go to the Brooklyn. I've seen veterans go to the Brooklyn Nets to try to go win. Right. I've seen veterans pile up and try to go to the Clippers. Like, what I'm saying? We've seen this. Like, I've seen veterans go over there and get these teams depth. Like, bring back Biyombo, bring back Landale, solidifies your front court that can play with multiple people in a rotation with an Ayton. So now, all of a sudden, you bring back Uchiwale, you bring back Torrey Craig.
But see, that's the thing. If we keep Ayton, we can't bring back Biyombo, Landale, Okogie, and Torrey Craig.
Why didn't these dudes are vet minimum? But at the end of the day, you still got to fill out a roster, and they're going to let you. They allow you to still fill out a roster, but everybody's vet minimum.
But Hill, they have to accept that,
bro. We talking about Bismack Biyombo, bro.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about Okogie and Torrey Craig. They have to accept that. They're because of what Okogie has showed in the first two rounds of the playoffs. They have to accept that. Torrey Craig ended up going to the Pacers. He's played elsewhere. They have to be able to accept that and come back. So I get what you're saying. Oh, just give them the vet minimum and this and that.
Hey, listen, but we talk about no disrespect to these players.
We on the sun, like we need, like it's minute 27.
We about to get up, but no disrespect to these players. These are vet minimum players that I'm talking about. They may be on the high end. They got a little name recognition, but listen, these are vet minimum players. If they don't want to get that, what you gonna take more to go to the Thunder? Like, all right, bro, go to the Thunder.
But here's my thing. Some players will. We've seen it.
It's more Torrey Craig's. You feel what I'm saying?
But I get that.
It's more Torrey Craig.
I understand that, but what I'm saying,
and I'm purposely saying this dude's name wrong because who is he?
But also what I'm saying here is we're not the only title contender. So yes, there are some players that will accept the vet minimum, but depending on what, and so that's all I'm saying. So if Torrey Craig is like, do I want the vet minimum or do I want to be able to get a little bit more than what I was making to,
Stay right there, cause we about to move up. You say y'all not the only title contender, right?
Right.
Or the name some more contenders. Just rapid fire.
The Nuggets,
roster field,
roster seals, but the Celtics,
roster field.
They can make some moves if they wanted to.
Where? They're roster field.
You could still go to Milwaukee.
Okay, cool.
I think the Heat you see the Heat trying to make moves. The Heat will make upgrades.
He's not trying to make moves. And as of right now, they haven't made moves. So as of right now, cool. But nobody's flocking to go to the Heat, because if they was going to flock to go to the Heat, they would have been did that.
Not necessarily, because people will see what the Heat have done and be like, okay, you know what? It's structure over there. And if they could do that, I'm better than structure. Right. But to get so from the bubble until now, it's like, yes, people thought the bubble was a fluke. But then they see it, they see the consistency since the bubble. They're like, oh shit, I'm better than Gabe Vincent. I'm better than Caleb Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what you're saying there. And so those are contenders. And I know this is not a conversation, but people who think that they are in it and could overpay, let's not forget the Mavs. The Mavs will overpay for some people because they are going to do their damnness to keep Luka. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they are going to do their damnness to keep Luka.
They only can spend but so much.
They can only spend for so much, but they will make those attempts, because we know Cuban is going to try. He sucks at acquiring free agents, but he will pay.
Okay.
That's how he took JaVale McGee from us. Because remember, I wanted us to bring JaVale McGee back after our finals run.
Mm-hmm.
But you get what I'm saying?
Paid him a little more at the time. But once again, you just named, but you didn't name that many contenders. And most of the contenders that you named, their roster's filled.
Okay. So we'll see.
You know what I'm saying? So with their roster's filled, so with the players that I named, only the two players that I named, Torrey Craig and Uchi Wally, when it comes to them, why would I leave a situation that I already know it?
Okay, we'll see.
Searching for something else. And I'm going to be offered the same money when it comes to these contenders. We'll see though.
Yeah,
Trust
me.
We'll see. If let's say it's two philosophies right here. If y'all don't move Aiden, you will see the type of vet moves that
you talking about.
That I'm talking about. Now, if y'all move, and it's the same thing. And if y'all move Aiden, and we will see the moves.
You'll see the moves that I'm talking about.
And I ain't gonna text you and just be funny, just you know what I'm saying. Y'all mess around and pick up me. And I'd be like, see, I told you I'm 3-and-D. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Because that's where it get unfair. Because a lot of betting men, I'm like, hold on. I know you're not trying to prop this move up. Because I'm gonna just take that as hate, and we're not about to.
But a Troy Brown Jr. will fit perfect for y'all.
I get that.
And that's a vet minimum that and he started for us. And I want him back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But now we're talking about a real contending team. Do I think my team can contend? Yes, depending on some of the moves that they make. Yeah, I believe that. Or that's the homer talking. But if y'all offer him a vet minimum too, that's a spot, that's depth. Y'all need him. And y'all gotta play him.
I get you.
That's all I'm saying.
So
we ain't using none of the graphs.
I know. I'm about to bring it up. It's about to start from the very beginning. So we about to just skip through this. We don't need to talk about the Suns no more because.
Oh man, let's get to this one right here.
Can we pop our shit again real quick?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. So I want to credit Hill first of all. He presented a very similar trade, and they had to bring in a third team in this. But initially, what was happening, like what the trade was Marcus Smart for Tyus Jones, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it was.
It was Marcus Smart for Tyus Jones.
I added Kenny Lofton to make the money.
Yeah, and we added Kenny Lofton to make this trade work. And some will say, "Oh, but that ain't the trade that happened." I just want to let you know, like, this is coming from basketball knowledge. These are things that are coming from sports knowledge. And this is the stuff that we do. We don't have any insiders. We don't have any, people within these organizations to give us any information. So we are doing this off of just pure understanding of how the game works and what teams need. And to kind of pull this together with none of that, I think y'all motherfuckers be sleeping on us, dog. Like a lot of y'all be just trying to speak out and just argue with us. We not just here to just argue. We really trying to just we're really coming to y'all because we have an understanding that it's level. Like, I don't even want to say it's levels to this shit, but it's some understanding to this shit that I don't think people really take into account. It's nuance to this shit. Like, we all butt heads and stuff like that, but there's been plenty of things that we have hit on that we not just guessing. We not just not just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. We've really playing this out. We've really talked through this, and some of this stuff we come on air and freestyle, but it's very rare. A lot of this stuff we have talked through in a chat before and be like, nah, like, why would they do this?
Mm-hmm.
That don't fit. They need this. We've literally talked about Marcus Smart going there because it gives them a vet presence in that locker room with Ja, all of that relates. And the Celtics needed to make a move because Marcus Smart seemed like someone that needed to go because he was too iffy within that group of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and that's where he was the piece that needed to go. Bringing in someone like Tyus Jones could fall in line. And I got to credit Hill for that, man. That was a great call.
Man, I appreciate it, man. But like you said, it's the work that we, like you said, it's the work that we. Go ahead.
Remember I said they needed to get someone in there because Al Horford got stale and they needed to just try and get someone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like the work that, like you said, the work we put in, like you say, playing with the trade machine, it seems fun. It seems fun, but once again, you start thinking about some teams that, oh man, he don't need this piece, he don't need this piece, and then when you get rejected, when the money don't work, and like I said, the player auction, and then you got to realize the rules, you got to research the rules, and this player can't go here, and this can't do that. It's a lot of it's a lot of work that goes into it. Like you said, you just can't just throw it out and just make a graphic and just say, oh yeah, this rumor goes here just to get some traction and get the people to talk. Kind of like just prime example, like Bill Simmons in the group. He said the Spurs should offer Austin Reeves a max contract. Ooh, you go, so the Lakers can't match. First off, you already giving off false information, right? You said you're Bill Simmons.
Yeah,
you're supposed to know this. You already know that he can't be offered a max. You already know that he's a restricted free agent and he can only be offered but so much. And the Lakers got an opportunity to match. Like so you can't just put out this stuff. But once again, a lot of people don't do the research or don't understand some of the like you say the ins and outs of some of the things that go out. It's like say we ain't better than none of y'all, but like I say, we are putting in some of this work.
And I think that's what it is. We are not just three friends who get on camera and talk. We do so much research behind the scenes, and we do a lot of brainstorming. We do a lot of round table. We got 3-man weave red table. We do a whole lot of airing shit out behind closed doors because we want to make sure we bring the best product, but I think because we don't go for shock value, but some of the stuff we say may seem outlandish. We're not just out here trying to be Skip Bayless. We actually talking our shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, because we feel confident in the stuff that we've done because we put in so much hard work and research to get to episode 203 and not just reach for some bullshit takes to try and get views. And so I think we're not talking to you to sound better than you. We're talking to you to make sure hey, we're not just coming up with takes. We've researched this and put in work, and we're not telling you anything that has been regurgitated to you already. So if you want to come at us, that's fine. We will gladly banter back, but just know our rebuttals ain't just going to be some shit you heard, and I will call you out if I heard your take before. Absolutely. That's all. I love y'all though. I love y'all though. Shout out to the fours, but it's all love. But you gonna get this work.
It was so funny. It was so refreshing to hear Jay Williams repeat damn near everything that I said about Marcus Smart going to the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. I mean, he put it in the Jay Williams way, of course. He went to Duke. I'm sorry, but but it was just I'm like, okay, oh, but if Jay Williams saying that was, but it's good. But when I say, oh, I'm tripping. Oh, Hill go Hill. Okay, I get it. But let's break down this trade. Did Brad Stevens go to the school of Danny Ainge? How the hell you get the best player and you get draft picks first round picks with it?
That's my thing. Okay, Kristaps Porzingis for Marcus Smart, and then it fell through, and because they was gonna trade Malcolm Brogdon
to the Clippers
and all of that stuff. Like, I understand that, but when it fall through, and then you come back with 2 first-round picks. I don't even care if Memphis is gonna be good. You get 2 first-round picks and the best player out the trade, and somehow you throw in the 35th overall pick to the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
To get rid of Marcus Smart, who we kind of felt like you was gonna get rid of already, because now if Malcolm Brogdon gets healthy, that's gonna be your starter.
They still got Derek White. Now they no need to trade Peyton Pritchard. Now he can get an uptick in minutes. He was already mad about his role, so they have guards. If they didn't want to make a move. If currently constructed, they have guards. But even in the previous trade, when they was trading Malcolm Brogdon to the Clippers was the one that was going to be sending most of the draft compensation to the Wizards. So even still, you were skating on it there. I'm not understanding what are they saying during the negotiation. this is pure hate when it comes from me right now because I'm not understanding how the Celtics, when they get involved in the trade, they continuously win the trade. Like
all the time. I just
every
don't get
trade.
it.
I really don't understand it. But getting the Porzingis currently constructed right now, you still have Al Horford, a locker room leader team. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the crazy part to me because I thought they were just gonna
move him.
Like they was gonna move him and upgrade and in unison with like Marcus Smart or make 2 moves to do that. But now you still have him along with Time Lord and Kristaps Porzingis.
Robert Williams.
That's Time Lord.
I'm about to say, who is that? I thought that was. I'm like, but I don't know if that's. I don't know who that is.
So now think about that. You got Robert Williams, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis. We know what Al Horford do to Joel Embiid.
Come on now.
And then you got Kristaps Porzingis who could still score.
You know the thing about, I know people were talking about, Kristaps' defense, how he's a liability. People, what they really fail to realize, he's a great help defender though.
And honestly, what more do you want in this NBA? Because it's only a few great defenders anyway.
Yeah, but you don't want a liability though. Like
I understand, but to me, if you can say he's a great help defender, does that still make him a liability, or does that elevate him a little bit? Because he's still going to be able to get you that backside defensive help.
It helps him. It helps him with the play because, like I said, he can play with Horford and he can play with Williams.
That's my point. So in this situation, if he's a great help defender, can you still consider him a liability? Yeah.
Absolutely.
If someone's going to try and go up against him, one-on-one, I get that. But how often is that really going to happen now?
With this team in particular, like I said, he should not be on the court without a Robert Williams or Al Horford, like I said, without them taking the brunt work. That
be the nuance that I be talking about. Like, yes, if you just want to put it in the vacuum and you got Joel Embiid backing down Kristaps Porzingis, barbecue chicken.
Absolutely, barbecue chicken.
But if you got Kristaps Porzingis, playing,
PJ Tucker, you know
what I'm saying? Like, it looked a little bit different.
And I think on top of that, it helps out a Jaylen Brown, for example. We know Jason Tatum can score anywhere on the court. We know Jaylen Brown can score anywhere on the court, but the presence of a Porzingis, the way he can space the floor, we know that he can score from anywhere. You know that
he can't dribble with his left, Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, he absolutely not. But he has more space to deal with now, so maybe he can.
That's what he needs. He needs a teammate that can always stand on his left. So if someone is trying to force him left, he can just pass it.
There you go.
He can just pass it. Say, here,
it helps.
I'm gonna run over to the right side.
Like you say, it helps him out, and like you say, it's a mere upgrade from what they had. So the best thing, yeah, I don't know what type of time you want. Obviously, health is a key factor. We understand that,
especially with Robert Williams too.
Exactly. I think people fail to realize that, like, he has an injury history. That's about as long as anybody else, but nobody cares. But like you say, you can keep them healthy. Like I say, he has one job. He has one job. He's going to do that one job. I like it, man. I have absolutely nothing negative to say. The app currently constructed right now, they're definitely the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, favorites to me.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has done anything to surpass them. And now getting Kristaps Porzingis, it makes them a lot more dangerous because it gives them another offensive element. And a lot of their team is still intact, even with Marcus Smart moving. I think Kristaps Porzingis fits better offensively for them.
Yeah, they needed a quality upgrade at big. You know what I'm saying? Those are hard to find.
Especially with Time Lord's injury history.
Yeah,
because when he's there, they're defensively.
Yeah,
it makes them different.
They're totally different team.
But once he goes out, it's just a totally different team. So at least if he goes out, you can kind of supplement that with an offensive, big like Kristaps Porzingis, and he can still stretch the floor and allow Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to attack.
I think for this team to still take the next level, I think Jason Tatum is definitely going to have to develop a post game. Just just dominate somebody if you get a mismatch.
Basket. A little. He need to go work this offseason with Melo.
You know what I'm saying? Just get that because he has it in his arsenal. So you know what I'm saying? Just work on it a little bit better, and just like I say, just in case you get some mismatches, but it's because it's gonna be a lot of switching now. There'll be a lot of space.
It's gonna be a whole lot.
And it's gonna be a lot of space to deal with. This, like you say, this team is definitely. It's gonna be a lot of space for him to operate with. Man, he might win MVP next year. Like,
I might put in a little future for that, just in case.
See, slide me $5. I gave you that tip.
Yeah, I think I like that.
The third team in this equation. Are we gonna talk about them now or later?
We can talk about them now.
I'm liking what the Wizards is doing. At first, I was confused as hell.
They're fixing their timeline, and
absolutely,
they're fixing their timeline, and
they're fixing somebody else's mess, though.
Yeah,
like I think that's the confuse. I think that's the confusing part for some people that they're not grasping. Like they're cleaning up somebody else's mess. Like some of these moves that's made now should have been made at the trade deadline. Like you should have got rid of Kyle Kuzma. You possibly should have traded. You should have traded Bradley Beal at the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? So you possibly could have traded Kristaps Porzingis. Now I get it. He was still
kind of hooping.
He had a great year.
So he was still kind of hooping, and
he was negative thing though.
He's in that, but he's also in that timeline where you could have made it work. But and this is where I get you. You clearing that money, you clearing that Bradley Beal contract off your books, you getting rid of Kyle Kuzma, and you just moving some pieces around. Yeah, you're gonna be bad. But like you said, sometimes to clean up a mess, you gotta throw everything in the middle of the room. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they did. You know, they throwing everything in the middle of the room, getting everything just out there and saying, look, can I sell this? Can I sell this at the yard sale? Cool. Let me go ahead and sell it. Can I sell this at the yard sale? Cool. I can sell that. Mm-hmm. Does anybody want to buy? I got these cheeseburgers.
But the thing about Kyle Kuzma, though, he had already overplayed his contract, so you knew for a fact that he was going to opt out. You knew what was going to happen, so it was like you should have moved him. At bare minimum, he should have been the one that moved to get something for him. Mm-hmm. But you didn't. It is what it is. You're here now, and you're cleaning it up now. And like I said, to get a Tyus Jones, to get a Jordan Poole to solidify your backcourt, that's a formidable backcourt for a lot of teams that would love to have. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? Even if it's not, you ain't expecting to be good anyway. You trying to, yes, you might be a year or two late on the tanking thing to get Wemby, but you almost had a chance and then you missed out.
I mean, the lottery did you dirty on that one, but I mean,
the lottery did them dirty because they basically was getting down to, and they had 50-50 odds to get the number one pick.
Yeah.
And they ended up falling where their record had them slotted, basically. So you kind of got hoes there. But hey, who knows? Like they always say, oh, this is the best prospect to come out since such and such. Zion was supposed to be the next LeBron. Yes, he's shown when he's on the court that he can make that team like that.
But he ain't
on the court. So who knows? And sometimes when you get those, obscure, draft picks, you might find you somebody. You might find you a Steph. You might find you a Booker. You might find you a Giannis. You know what I mean?
Or you could be drafted doing a Taco Bell commercial and find you a Jokic.
You're Jokic.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was so sick of that hearing that. Like,
I mean, but
it's a cute story.
It's a cute story, but it's Jokic. He backed it up, dog.
Yes, but once again, bro, it's the second round pick in the NBA that nobody cares about. They don't even we barely even see him on the. Oh, they just drafted Wemby. Yeah.
Dang, somebody just won $24.
You know it
for a $14,000 bet. But
that was hilarious.
So I don't be wishing people lose bets, but I wanted him to lose that bet. Cause why?
Yeah, because that was just stupid. But like you said, you got a Tyus Jones, you get a Jordan Poole in the backcourt. You got a Gafford. A lot of people don't know about Gafford, but he is one of those Robert Williams type of centers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Athletic, lob type of dude. So you got something to build around, and you got a draft pick coming up tonight. I forgot which pick they got, but
yeah,
it's obviously it's in the top 10. We know what time it is with that. You got draft picks, you got draft capital coming in. You're going to be trash. You know what I'm saying? So your next year pick is going to be high. You got pick swaps coming up from Phoenix. You got draft picks coming in from you got draft capital and you have cap space. You know what I'm saying? One thing about DC, I'm not sure everybody is, free agent destination when you got cap space. But you can take the Thunder route and clean this thing up.
Just get picks. And you don't got to use all of them, but you can move them around. Do what you got to do. Acquire talent. That's what it all comes down to. Just acquiring the talent. Who said that before?
AJ said it.
Okay.
AJ said it. You ain't say nothing about getting rid of talent.
Because they ain't got nothing to get rid of. They ain't got nothing to get rid of. But look, hey. If somebody say, hey, we want Jordan Poole and we can give you this, and this, and a top 3, unprotected, then buy Jordan.
But that's for him to act right. That's for him to act right. And I'm not pretty sure that he's gonna get down there and act right. I'm pretty sure he about to act the ass. Like he about to show off.
Man, DC.
Yeah. The memories for you. All right, man. Let's get to this final trade, man. I think this is one of the dumbest trades that happened today. And
thank you. Okay. I'm not the only one.
It's funny. I think it's funny. Cannon says Cannon always says Murph. He always joke and say Murph. And I was one of the one. I think a couple episodes ago. It might have been whatever episode. A couple episodes ago, but I definitely said that Chris Paul needs to start coming off the bench. Right.
I said Chris Paul should start coming off the bench.
Start coming off the bench, right? I remember I said he needs to start getting some of that Russell
Westbrook. Yeah.
So he comes off the bench, right? So I got him coming off the bench. I didn't expect him to go to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get the logic of it. You go get him, the second unit, he can help out. He can go play with Moody, Kuminga, those dudes like that. And get the second unit going and keep things afloat. And of course, we know he can play off the ball as well. We've seen him play off the ball. We know Steph can play off the ball, so they can play together. We do understand that. I think that for what they gave up, they was clearing their books for the new CBA. Right. Everybody in the new CBA is not doing what the Suns are doing, or is not doing what the Celtics are doing. Although the Celtics are definitely acquired more draft picks and start doing the model that the Nuggets are doing to try to get some of these cost control prospects at the end when stuff get real. So they are trying to do it both ways. But just because you want to clear cap, you mean to tell me nobody else offered you anything better? You mean you couldn't find nobody else? Nobody else? You just had to go get Chris Paul, right? For an expired contract. I get it.
What if it was like somebody in the West and it was like kind of thing how we said with Bradley Beal and the Heat? What if it was something like that where it was like, because I think they saw the writing on the wall and was like, yes, this Jordan Poole contract, we can move it, but we just don't, like, they may have felt he's good, not good enough for us to want to keep him. Mm-hmm. But not good enough where we may want to face him in the Western Conference playoffs.
Question.
I got you.
They got Andrew Wiggins from the West, right?
They got Andrew Wiggins from the West.
I'm just saying.
Andrew Wiggins, but they got him. They didn't give him to someone else. You get what I'm saying?
But my thing was he was gifted to a contending team in the West.
Right. So it wasn't a contender gifting him. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit different there. It's a little bit different dynamics. So even when they got rid of Harrison Barnes, They got rid of Harrison Barnes because they was like, we are recruiting somebody.
Yes.
I will give you Harrison Barnes. Like Harrison, bye. Because we got something up our sleeve.
And that's fine.
You giving Jordan Poole, like, say, I don't even know a team that I can say like was like a suitor for Jordan Poole. But just on some bullshit. Say it was the Clippers.
Okay, you say no to the Clippers.
Okay. And then say if it's the Trailblazers.
They ain't got nothing back for you. You say no to the Blazers. They ain't got nothing back. They're not sending you back nothing with quality.
Right. Say it's, I'm trying to think. Damn, I can't think of nobody because I'm like, we're doing this off the top of our head, but you get that.
But my point is, my point is though, even if it was still okay, you couldn't call the Bulls, you couldn't go get a Zach LaVine. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, you couldn't go. I'm not even.
I get that.
We're just spitballing. But now you couldn't call.
Okay, but why would you call the Bulls for Zach LaVine when you have Andrew Wiggins?
I mean, Chris Paul is a back. You getting Chris Paul to be a backup though.
But yes, Chris Paul is a backup, but Chris Paul brings something, even if he plays with just like, I think this is a terrible trade, but I think this is something that they feel Chris Paul could bring that Zach LaVine can't. To me, Zach LaVine and Andrew.
Hold on. Don't use Zach LaVine as the parameter of
okay,
because I was just doing what you was doing.
Yeah, you get that. Okay, so on my mama, this is a terrible trade.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mom, I didn't mean to put that on you. You were right there. That was awkward. Oh, nothing. That was unexpected. But so this is a terrible trade because if Chris Paul is in your starting lineup,
this is definitely terrible.
This is terrible because you have Chris Paul, who Patrick Beverly says is a cone. Steph Curry,
cone.
Clay off the Achilles and the ACL.
He may not be a cone, but he may be a chair.
He's a chair of the musical variety.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, so even if you go big, then you got Andrew Wiggins at the 4, and then Draymond.
This is
terrible.
I think what made me not mad about this thing is like we just seen we got a reminder about Steph Curry's skill set during the Lakers series.
Yeah,
he became when they made him a primary facilitator, ball handler on that series, and we could not figure that out. Feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we obviously we ended up winning the series, but it was a dynamic that we haven't seen.
You weren't prepared for.
It was a dynamic we haven't seen from Steph Curry in a while. Of course, we knew he had the skill set that he could, facilitate. He's one of his passing is one of his greatest skills. His ball handling and all that. But it's the fact that he was the primary facilitator was a whole different dynamic that was unlocked that we have not seen in his tenure since Steve Curry got there.
Yep.
So my thing is, you have that a lot. So of course, if you bring back Draymond, you know what Draymond is going to do. He's going to initiate the offense. It's cool. Cool. You got Steph still coming off the ball, but your backup point guard could be Steph actually initiating the offense. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, you didn't have to go get a Chris Paul to be the backup point guard.
Because it doesn't, like, nothing about this makes basketball sense, and that's my issue with this. Yeah. I don't understand how this is going to make basketball sense. But you know who's the most mad about this trade?
You?
LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
This is everybody LeBron wants to play with.
Yeah.
There's not a single person in the NBA that LeBron wants to play more than the 3 players on this team. Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Draymond.
Can I be objective for a little bit, though?
Go ahead.
This is, I believe, the very first time in Chris Paul's career that he's going to an actual offensive system that he doesn't have to actually be the orchestrator for.
Right.
Like they have a system that is an actual system. So he can actually learn this.
That's why KD wanted to go there. Let's not forget that.
So he can actually learn and play within the system. And like I said, his facilitating skills can be enhanced.
Not even learn. He can go there and just be
one of
the guys, like what he likes to do. So when I say this is terrible, I'm not saying that I would be surprised if it worked. I'm just not seeing a pathway right now of how it can work from an NBA standpoint of both ends of the court. Because when you got Steph Curry running the point, Clay, Andrew, Draymond, and Kevin Looney and all that stuff, you can still outscore people, but you still have a sense of defense. But if you got Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Clay, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond, I think if you're coming up against the upper echelon teams in the I almost said the NFC in the Western Conference, I think the Nuggets, they gonna give you problems.
I think everybody's gonna give them problems.
I think the Nuggets gonna give you problems. I think the Suns gonna give you problems. I even think the as much as dysfunction as they are, the Grizzlies will give you problems. The Lakers will give you problems. I think Luka will give you problems.
Yeah, I don't think this. I'm not saying how this made them see better. I get the dynamic of you had to clear up some cap space. You had to get Jordan Poole out of here. The dynamic of him and Draymond was definitely ruined. We understood that. We understand it. I just feel that they could have made a better deal. Is what I'm saying.
It had to be. It had to be something.
Like it happened while we were working today. So it was no fact. Like it was nothing that we could actually do. We could have cooked up some trades that I think that would have been better, But I mean, what's done is done. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is what it is. Shouts out to them. But the funny thing about it, I didn't see no Warriors fan happy.
Because I mean, to be quite honest, in my eyes, why would you? Like, I understand the Draymond and Jordan Poole dynamic was very, very, contentious. But I've seen trades where I was like, you made this trade and I don't think it made you better. I think you made this trade and I think it made you worse.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, one of the reasons, I was against the Chris Paul trade happening, but when it happened, I was like, hey, you guys made a win now move.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris Paul being on a win now team, I think his window has closed, which means I think him going to the Warriors who have a win now approach,
mm-hmm.
This doesn't help them. This doesn't help them at all.
This is my thing about it, and once again, you see the dynamic of Russell Westbrook, and you see how he was treated when it was his time to come down. I guess reality.
Yep.
Versus Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul went from a partially guaranteed contract. Am I right?
Yes.
So now his contract that went up to fully guaranteed just because he's been moved around in all of these trades. So now all of a sudden he went from 15. Am I right? Went from 15 million to 30 million.
They're back up to 30 plus.
Now he's back to 30 million.
Mariah Mills wish he could do that.
So he's up to 30 million. And he's probably being demoted, but we keep viewing him as, this guy, and people listen to me. This is my all-time favorite point guard. Like, but I know that the end is near.
He's one of the greats.
The end is near, and like I said, he needed to come off the bench. I get it, but come off the bench to somebody that actually needed you. Like the Warriors did not need you. That was not one of the needs that they had. They needed a backup big. They needed
because here's my thing. Say what you want about Jordan Poole. If you still have Jordan Poole as your backup point guard and you get a backup big, And who knows? You get a backup big, maybe a wing, whatever the case may be. Your window's still open.
Like, see,
Because what I've learned having Chris Paul in this advanced stage, he's not he's reluctant to shoot.
Yes,
he's very reluctant to shoot, and that showed in a lot of the series with the Suns where we needed that third option. He would get that. He would pass up open threes. He would pass up, finishing drives. This does not help the Warriors. And by name, if this by name, this looks good, but it would only work if this was 2020, 2019, 2021. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going into the 2023, 2024 season,
about to be 39.
Bro,
like,
I just don't see it.
They were supposed to be getting younger.
And that's the thing. So, Bomani's my guy. And he's always said, I don't know how the Warriors are going to be able to really make it last in this transition by, sitting on the fence. Either you're going to go for it or you're going to get younger. They're trying to do both. Back, from the time they had Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, and all of that. They ended up winning, but that, it went great. But now, after that, you see how it kind of just it's progressively looking like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to work.
Well,
here. You know what I mean?
Last year was the prime indicator of what it was supposed to be. Remember, everybody, we was all hyped. We was all, they got a young roster they can build up. They can, chill during the regular season. They can just get ready for the playoff because they got this youth mixed with the old, and boom, that didn't work. It was a clusterfuck all season. So now you still got that same dynamic. They still don't know how to use Kuminga. He was in trade rumors all season. Well, not all season, but he was in trade rumors.
Pretty much.
Moody, what is Moody? You feel me? I still don't know what he is.
No idea.
We seen when Wiseman got to Detroit. I get it, it's Detroit, but he showed enough look like a totally different player in Detroit.
Yep.
Like, you see, like he understood some things.
Change of scenery sometimes.
So now it gets to the pack. Now it's on Curry to try to understand how to utilize these people. Like I said, I don't know how he can do it. And maybe this season would be the one. Maybe getting the Chris Paul is the key factor, because maybe Chris Paul can play with the mood. Like I said, can play with a Moody and Kuminga, and that second unit can actually keep things afloat when Steph taking a breather, Clay taking a breather, and they keep things going. But as of now, like I said, I think they could have got, like I said, once again, I'm keep saying it, they could have got somebody else to do that.
100%. And a lot of pressure is on Kerr now. Can you really coach, or were you just a coach with talent? Because to me, a big thing in coaching is a lot of the people stuff. Can he do the people things to be like, hey, Chris, you're an all-time great, but our team would be much better served with you coming off the bench, leading the second unit like you did in OKC. And I'm not saying he came off the bench in OKC, but leading the young guy. Oh,
we'll see y'all next week.
Shit, damn, man, I want to get wasted. God damn it! Hey,
we still got time. We still got time for them to
catch
move.
us all, man.
Damn. We trying to take a break for y'all.
I'm tired.
Oh man, listen. When y'all watch this on the playback, we are watching the draft at the same time.
Oh my God.
Scoot Henderson just got drafted by the Blazers as of right now. Like I say, some things can change. Like I say, but
name is getting traded, bro.
Oh my God, Dave is in the booth right now. This is somebody.
Oh my God.
Oh man. But
because you a bitch ass nigga named Chauncey. Oh my God.
The Washington and Phoenix have finalized the Bradley Beal trade, landing the Wizards 6 second-round draft picks and 4 first-round pick swaps. Source tells ESPN. Suns are sitting seconds in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2030 and pick swaps in 24, 26, 28, and 30. The Phoenix Suns do not have a draft pick till 2031. That's when Chase will be eligible to be drafted.
Hey, bro, you know how tall Chase is. Chase might be a big athletic 6'9", 6'10" wing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You seen him in action?
We got potential. We'll see him in 2031 because
you ain't gonna see it in 2023. You ain't gonna see it in 2023. It's a get back here.
Oh man, that is crazy. But it was one. I mean, it'll be all worth it if y'all win.
That was the question I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
If you win a championship, how much time are you willing to buy to be shitty? If you buy a championship, like how much are you willing to accept of like being trash? If you get that championship,
man, it's hard to ask me. I'm a Lakers fan.
No. I'm talking about in sports in general.
I know, but once again, it's still kind of hard.
But that's why I asked you about sports in general, because I want you to put in perspective in everything. Because, like, look, if we pay everybody and we win a championship, and then, or if we can't pay everybody, like, let me take it that I go to the Bengals. If we can't pay everybody and we franchise T and stuff like that, and we can't pay everybody, but we win a Super Bowl next year, and we like 9-7, 8-9, all that shit for the next like 6 years. I'm gonna take that championship, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, you can just wait 28 years, bro.
I've already did that.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like the Suns. Like Suns, and I think I be coming from a different perspective because I'm a Suns, Bengals. I can't go Florida State, but I'm a Suns and Bengals fan. Bro, in baseball and football, I've never seen my team win a championship. I was happy to see both my teams in the final stretch to win one.
You know what? Using Florida State can answer your question. When the last time y'all won a championship?
2013.
It was 2013. And how much time did you give them though? You gave them some grace period.
But wait, Cannon was the one that wanted to fire Willie Taggart. I was like, hey, let him clean up Jimbo's mess. Was I not?
That was
Because I was like, shoot, we get like, hey, we won a championship in '99. We was competitive and all of that stuff here and there. Jimbo came in, all of that good stuff. We won that championship in 2013. I'm like, cool. We won our chip. Hey, after that chip, we lost Jameis. Jimbo stopped recruiting. And I was like, give Willie time to clean it up. And because in my mind, you know what I say? Nobody likes diversity.
Yeah.
Until it's time for a cleanup. You brought in Willie, first black coach of Florida State history, all of that good stuff. It goes sour, of course, because he came in on a down note. Norvell came in on a down note. I told Cannon immediately, give Norvell time. I wanted Willie to get time. Give Norvell time.
But now it's time. Now it's time for y'all to actually compete. You feel what I'm saying?
No. Yes, that's the main thing. Compete. Nobody ever like if we win a championship though. Like I'm still not mad.
Yeah, but it's like so now it's to the fact that you got it varies because like we say you got the same. Let's say you keep the same coach. You win. Okay, boom. Now we transfer. We go down the next 2 years, but we keep the same coach. Now this same coach, he got like a couple more years to figure this out. To figure it out. Now, if you get a new coach, this new coach already gets a 2-year grace period off the strip. So now I'm up to like 7 years already at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's winning the championship is hard, my brother.
It's hard, and that'd be my thing. That's what I be saying. Like, I would take a championship and
figure it out
later. But get me that championship. Get me to that peak. Because you already know, I've already said, hey, that 2021 season with the Bengals, That's the highlight of my life.
Absolutely.
That, like, when people talk about football, the Raiders game is the best experience I've ever had as a football fan. Not going to the not that field goal, going to the Super Bowl, none of that. Just that Raiders game, because that was our first playoff win in 31 years.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, and then now I have hope. Every season is fun. Even if we don't, like, I would love to win a Super Bowl with this current, group, or this iteration of this team. Yes.
Yeah.
But even if not, this has provided me with some of the, like, it gives me hope. There's been points and times in my NFL career, like in the offseason, it's like, oh, every NFL team has hope. Nah, not over here, player.
Nah.
Shit, with the Suns, we have more wings on the roster than B-Dubs. I had no hope we was going nowhere.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, hey,
now it's time to win. It's time to win now.
It's time to win it, and we have those expectations. And even just going to the finals, it's like, okay, we got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. If we win a championship, do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah,
do what you got to do, bro.
The thing about it,
bro, sometimes you gotta kill some chickens. I don't know what the fucking saying is. You gotta crack some eggs to make eggs, or kill some chickens to make wings. Or
and you catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill. This Chicken George over here.
I'm sorry. What do you want from me?
Oh man! So
hey, rest in peace to everybody that went down in the chum bucket and ended up, being in Mr. Krabs' secret recipe. I'm Hill. That's AJ. Oh shit! I'm AJ. That's
y'all the fours, and we out, bro.
Oh my goodness! What the hell is going on? I'm sorry. I don't know.